Hey guys, welcome back to the Modern Nomads. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and click on that notification bell.
Yep. And guys, make sure to check out our Patreon if you guys want to. We have extra BTS content. We're doing BTS albums, and we're going to be starting BTS run, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and today we're back with another BTS content, and this time we're doing the most requested video. The second most, I would say, because MMA 2019 was the most.
Yeah.
So this is The Most Beautiful Life Goes On, Story of BTS 2021
Update,
version. Yeah, so it's the recent one, and a lot of you guys suggest this, and we're literally looking forward to see what's going on and how life is from day one till today, and you know, I'm curious.
Yeah, let's get straight into it.
Even though they said curiosity killed the cat.
It's a little bit loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
BTS.
Today, everyone knows the name of BTS.
Yes.
They've been invited onto late night talk shows, they've shattered records, they've sold out stadiums, they've made it onto the big screen. These days, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who didn't know who these guys were, or at least haven't heard one of their songs. And if they don't, either they've been living under a rock, or they're 100 years old. The success of the Bangtan Boys is worldwide, but it wasn't always like this.
The very existence of BTS can be owed to its founding father, an innovator by the name of Hitman Bang. His idea to create a rap group was somewhat inspired by YG. In the late 90s, he experimented with this idea with different trainees, eventually choosing 7 members. And while 3 of them eventually left, the remaining 4, Teddy, Danny, Jinhwan, and Baekhyun, debuted in 1998 as One Time. Their first album, titled One Time for Your Mind, was one of the year's best-selling albums and won several awards, including the Global Disc and SBS Music Awards for Best New Artist and KMTV's Award for Best Hip Hop Artist. The group enjoyed moderate success and released 4 more albums before going on indefinite hiatus in 2006 due to their mandatory military service.
The year was 2010, and the 5-year-old company, Big Hit Entertainment, had previously signed 2 artists, 88 and 2AM. They had their share of successes, but they were very traditional K-pop groups.
It's all 2 a.m.
A fresh new sound, and upon listening to One Time, CEO Hitman Bang had decided that that was the sound that he was looking for. And on top of that, the youth needed someone to relate to, and more importantly, look up to. He had decided he would create a hip-hop group.
RM.
At 15 years old, Kim Namjoon auditioned for a certain Big Deal Records, which he completely botched, forgetting the lyrics to the song he was performing. Afterwards, fellow rapper Sleepy recommended that he try auditioning at another label, Big Hit, and even put in a good word for him to one of the producers there. At age 16, Namjoon auditioned in front of Bang Se-hyuk himself, and instantly impressed him. He was offered a deal with Big Hit on the spot, which Namjoon accepted and became a trainee, officially choosing a name for himself, Rap Monster, destined to become the leader of the newly created group. Now that a fearless leader was chosen, they needed more members.
Sugar.
Min Young-gi was a 17-year-old living in Daegu, an avid basketball player and rapper. He had been interested in music, especially rap, from a very early age. And despite his parents' disapproval, started performing as a rapper while still in high school. He quickly gained attention as a rapper and producer in the underground hip-hop scene. One day he saw a flyer for a rap competition called Hit It and decided to participate. And although he only
Why does it sound like how
the company hosting the competition, you guessed
rap
it, Big
anime
Hit,
would start?
decided to sign him on as a producer. Hitman Bang spoke with him afterwards, convincing him to join a newly created hip-hop group. He told him to just focus on rapping and assured him that he wouldn't need to dance. He was lying. And just like that, the new group had a second member, known as Suga, a combination of the first 2 syllables of shooting guard, his favorite position in basketball. But they wouldn't stop there. Rappers were nice, but Big Hit actually needed a dancer. Jung Ho-seok always loved dancing. He was in the starting lineup of the dance crew Neuron in his hometown, Gwangju. He was good at it too, winning several local championships and even winning a championship at the national level in 2008. While he did perform at several competitions hosted by JYP and even won some of them, he ultimately went on to audition for a smaller, lesser-known company, Big Hit Entertainment. His dance skills and strong understanding of rhythm made him an instant favorite, and he was signed on as J-Hope. Not only that, but they saw potential in him to become a rapper, which at this point he had little experience with. However, J-Hope made the decision to leave Big Hit until RM convinced both J-Hope and Big Hit that the group wouldn't be complete without him. He was right.
아니 근데 형 항상 주말고야 종소 와야 된다고 종소 안 오면 진짜 안 된다고. 멤버 믿고 간 거야 나는 그냥. 올해 했고 멤버 보고 왔다. 멤버 보고 왔어 진짜. 근데 나는 진짜 네가 안 그래요?
With the addition of J-Hope, the rap line was complete. Now they needed some singers. Now, just like how RM, an amazing rapper with a ton of experience,
they're like the
was
first
chosen
few
as the
members.
first
Yeah.
official member of the rap line, it would only make sense that a legendary singer and dancer would be the perfect first member of the vocal line, right? But Kim Seok-jin didn't have any sort of experience like that. Believe it or not, one day when he was walking on the streets of his hometown, Anyang, he was approached by a representative of SM Entertainment with an offer to work for the company. In typical Jin fashion, he never followed up with it because he believed it to be a scam. Apparently, Jin was a very good-looking guy because years later, this time as a college student in Seoul, he was once again approached on the street, this time by an executive at Big Hit Entertainment.
Wow. Yeah, anyone would think that's a scam, like, come on.
Yeah.
He didn't sing, he didn't dance. He was at school to become an actor, and he decided to audition to become an actor. Big Hit, however, had different plans for him, and convinced him to become a vocalist for their new group. To do so, he literally learned to dance and sing starting from zero,
Shit.
but
Wow.
thankfully, not without help from other vocalists.
That is mad.
That's crazy.
JK.
Jung Jung-kook initially had dreams of becoming a badminton player when he was young, but after seeing G-Dragon perform Heartbreaker on television, it influenced him to want to become a singer instead. Because of this, at only age 14, he decided to audition for the South Korean talent show, Superstar K. He didn't pass auditions, but this was just enough to catch the eye of not one company, not two companies, but 7 different companies.
Oh,
This included
shit.
JYP, FNC, Woollim,
These are
Starship
prodigy.
Entertainment, TS, Cube, and of course, Big Hit Entertainment. So why did Jungkook, given the choice of all these big companies, decide to go with the relatively smaller company, Big Hit? The answer was simple. Because he thought, and I quote, RM was cool, so I wanted to sign with them. That brings the
Aww.
number of members to 5. The next member of BTS was just as surprised to find Big Hit as Big Hit was to find him, and it almost didn't happen.
Man, I like the editing whoever did this one.
Kim Tae-young was always passionate about music, and it was always his dream to pursue it as a career. However, it was hard, as his family was poor, his parents being humble farmers. His father told him that if he was passionate about music, he should learn an instrument, and he did, spending 3 years practicing with the saxophone. One day, one of his friends decided to audition for Big Hit Entertainment when they were holding auditions in his hometown of Daegu. Taeyoung, being a good friend, came with him to keep him company. But when one of the team members in charge of the audition saw Taeyoung, he encouraged him to audition as well. With nothing to lose, he did. That day, he was the only one in Daegu to move on to the next round of auditions, and eventually became a trainee for Big Hit Entertainment. They decided to keep him as a surprise member and didn't want to reveal him as one of the members until his debut. In the same vein, Big Hit had him choose something mysterious for his stage name. He decided to go with V for victory. Here seems like
Wow.
a nice round number to stop, right? 6 members for a new hip-hop group, 3 rappers and 3
You
vocalists.
mean
It seems
the
like a
last
complete
person.
group, but still there was something missing. Someone was missing. Someone that could take this already great group of artists and push it even further to achieve perfection. A powerhouse. Someone so naturally talented that they could stand out in a room full of already talented artists. This project that Big Hit had embarked upon needed a capstone. Park Jimin was a naturally talented dancer. When he was in middle school, he attended a dance academy and continued to pursue dance at Busan High School of Arts, where he studied contemporary dance and was the top student in the whole modern
Wow.
dance department. Impressed by his raw talent, a teacher encouraged him to audition for Big Hit Entertainment, who were holding auditions in Busan. He was only 16 when he passed the audition and moved to Seoul to become a trainee. He was the final member of the group, and he
Wow.
also had the shortest training period. Interesting to note is that the group feels very much ragtag because, in a sense, with the exception of Jimin and J-Hope, it was. RM auditioned for Big Hit because he didn't pass his auditions with the first company he chose.
And despite their amazing talent, Suga and Jungkook didn't win the competitions they were in, but they signed on to Big Hit after the fact because of their high quality performances. V never even planned on auditioning and just decided to do it on a whim, and they literally just found Jin on the streets. But perhaps it was fate, because this was the group that they chose. And just like that, in 2012, the newly created Bangtanso년단, the Bulletproof Boy Scouts, or simply BTS, was 7.
저도 아침에 리허설 때 이거 보고 많이 웃었습니다.
They had the group, but they still needed the music. In early 2013, they set out to create some social media presence for themselves before officially debuting, posting song covers on both SoundCloud and YouTube, which you can still go watch today.
In May, Big Hit launched a countdown clock on their website in preparation for BTS's debut album, complete with a trailer and a ton of promotional material, including photos for the first time of all the members in the official lineup. Finally, the big day came. June 12, 2013. BTS held a press conference and a debut showcase where they performed their 2 singles, No More Dream and We Are Bulletproof Part 2. The same day, the Too Cool for School album, as well as the music video for No More Dream, were released.
Oh, we need to react to that.
The very next day, BTS performed the song again on their official debut stage
Direct
on
what?
Mnet's M Countdown.
Their first videos.
This was the world's first taste of BTS. Commercially, the album didn't do extraordinarily well. The lead single, No More Dream, peaked at 124 in Korea, and the album sold only 24,000 copies during its first year. Bulletproof Part 2 didn't even chart. The first year wasn't all that great for BTS, but despite everything, people saw them. People saw the sparkle in their eyes and their limitless potential.
The hunger.
And they were hot, of course. On July 9th, ARMY was established as BTS's official fandom. They made their comeback only 2 months later in September when they released their single No, along with their EP, part 2 of what would be their school
shit.
trilogy.
He
Oh,
looks-
Are You Late
ugh.
Too? In the music video for the single, they made a commentary
They
on
look
the harsh
so
Korean
young.
education
Of course,
system.
they were
Yeah.
young.
along
In the
with
beginning
their
of their
hopes
career,
and
man.
dreams.
Yeah,
They're like
Guilty.
16,
At
15.
Wow,
92,
that's almost 10 years
also
ago.
quickly fell off the charts.
It's 8 years,
The album
yeah.
debuted at
Shit.
number 4 on the
Time
Weekly
flies,
chart,
man.
and it was the 55th best-selling album in South Korea that year.
You thought this was
enough to
their
secure
first
them the
album?
coveted New Artist of the Year award at the Melon Music Awards, the Golden Disc Awards, and the Seoul Music Awards. Part 3 of the School Trilogy was released in February of 2014.
Was
The
there
EP,
a
School
presenter,
Love
the,
Affair. This time,
Hmm?
the lead
the
single
Ghost
was
Girl.
Boy in Love.
Gory's favorite song.
And the other single being Just One Day. The album, as well as both singles, enjoyed moderate success, with the album topping the Gaon album chart, as well as making its first international appearance at number 3 on the Billboard World Albums chart. The album also marked their first distinctive change in theme, focusing more on school life and young love, as evidenced by their Boy in Love music video. They also held their first fan meetings with a crowd of 3,000 in Seoul. BTS was doing well. That is, until July. This is, unfortunately, a dark chapter in the lives of BTS and ARMY. That's right. American Hustle Life. I'm joking, of course, but American Hustle Life was a reality show put together by Mnet that brought BTS to Los Angeles, where they had the unique opportunity to learn the true ways of hip-hop from
I heard this is like,
And it was a pretty darn cringy opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless. Whatever you do, just don't watch the Warren G version of Boy in Love. You've been warned. However, cringe and all, the trip proved fruitful for BTS, making connections, performing their first US concert for free in front of 200 fans, as well as their first appearance at KCON. The next month, in August,
200
BTS released
fans.
their first
No,
full-length studio album,
imagine if they
Dark
did that.
and Black. The album
Place
featured
would
2
be
singles,
compact.
Danger
this is the next album we're gonna be reacting to.
Yeah.
and War of Hormones. The album featured a marked shift in sound with a touch of R&B and electronica. It was met with moderate success. It peaked at number 2 in Korea, selling over 200,000 albums. In October and again in May of the following year, BTS went on their first and second concert tours, known as the Red Bullet Tour, where they visited 13 different countries, including Japan, the Philippines, Australia, the US, Mexico, and many others. They also came out with their first Japanese album in December, Wake Up, featuring many Japanese versions of their songs, as well as original tracks Wake Up and The Stars, followed by a Japan tour and a solo concert in Korea. Although Dark and Wild got decent attention, they needed something different. They needed something that would shake things up. They got to work. April 29, 2015 was their comeback. When this album was produced, each member had a hand in writing songs for the album. They again changed their sound from aggressive hip-hop to youthful, colorful styles. And not only their sound, but their image as well. This can be evidenced by their newest EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life. And just by looking at the album cover, they ditched the dark colors and the bulletproof vest symbol that had become so synonymous with BTS, and replaced it with a simple white and pink background overlaid with the title. And then, they dropped the single that would change everything. I Need You. It was sentimental, it was hopeful, it was new. Just by looking at the music video, we can see that BTS has also ditched their punk bad boy image and replaced it with a more real, vulnerable, down-to-earth, and youthful feel. This proved to be the change that BTS needed for mainstream success.
It's like
Billboard called it one of
becoming
the
a
greatest
man
K-pop
from a
songs
boy
of the
to a
decade,
man
and
kind of
charted
a
at
thing.
number 5 in Korea, and even led them to
Oh,
the
just
It's
they found
teenage.
they found
SBS
themselves.
Yeah.
And that wasn't all. They released their second single, Dope, on June 24th, which started off with a poignant line from RM.
어서 와. 방탄은 처음이지?
Welcome. Is this your first time with BTS? And you know what? For a lot of people, it was. In a way, their first studio album and tour can be seen as their stepping stone between old school BTS and new school. In November, they came back with their follow-up EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Part 2, the second EP in what would be dubbed the Youth Trilogy, which featured the single Run. The album focused even more on the frivolity,
Nirvana?
friendship, and carefree attitude that comes with enjoying one's youth. But just like in I Need You, contrasted that with suffering, depression, loneliness, society, and the stark and sometimes dark reality of life. Compare this to the far cry of the
Wow,
No
it's
More Dreams
amazing.
music video. It felt real. It was darker, grittier, more humble, more meaningful, and most importantly, RM lost his mohawk. Run also connected narratively with their previous single, I Need You, and another video released in September titled On Stage Prologue established what would come to be known as the BTS universe, or the BU, which would eventually combine music videos, short films, books, short stories, webtoons, and even a mobile game to
Have a
create a
webtoon?
cohesive story.
Well, they
And I
mentioned
won't
that
go
ages
down this
ago.
rabbit hole because there is a lot to digest, but it's definitely something
Yeah,
to
I
look
didn't hear
into
it.
if you're a hardcore army. The same month, they kicked off their third tour, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life on-stage tour, where they performed songs from their two recent EPs, Part 1 and Part 2. And Part 2 was a hit, their biggest so far. It topped the Weekly Gaon album and Billboard World Albums charts, and on Billboard, it stayed there for multiple weeks, the first K-pop act to do so. It also appeared on the Billboard 200 albums chart, not world albums, which was reserved for foreign non-English songs, but simply the top 200 albums, peaking at 171. Which is kind of amazing considering that this was back in 2015. They also received Best World Performer at the 17th Mnet Asian Music Awards. This brings us to Part 3 of the Youth Trilogy, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever, released on May 2nd, 2016, which featured probably my favorite BTS album cover. Young Forever was actually a compilation album of parts 1 and 2, so it was mostly the same songs, but it was notable that it had some new singles, Epilogue, Young Forever, Fire, and Save Me. The latter two performed exceptionally well, with both songs topping the Billboard World Digital Songs chart. This was also the second BTS album to chart on the Billboard 200 at 107, and it topped both the Gaon Weekly and Monthly chart, which earned BTS their first Daesang.
Best album of the
Oh,
year.
Album
Yeah.
of the Year at the 8th Melon Music Awards. They went on to do the second half of their tour, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life on Stage Epilogue, selling out many of their concerts and even selling out KCON in the US where they headlined the event. In September, they dropped their second Japanese album, Youth, featuring Japanese versions of tracks from their previous 3 EPs. Which went
We've seen
gold
this, I
and
think, in
peaked at
the
number 1 on
MMA,
Japanese
wasn't it?
charts. And only a month later, in October of
I don't know,
2016, it
but it's
happened.
quite familiar.
BTS dropped their second studio album, Wings. It sold over 500,000 copies in its first week. In comparison, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life Part 1, released just the previous year, which topped the Gaon chart, sold about 500,000 in its entire lifetime. Wings was
Oh,
big, but the
shit.
true showstopper was its lead single, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. which got them their first all-kill, topping 8 music charts in South Korea. Its music video gained 6 million views in the first 24 hours, which broke the YouTube record for the highest number of views of a K-pop group music video within 24 hours. The
Wow.
album hit number 26 on the Billboard 200, the highest ever charting K-pop album on Billboard. They ended up selling 1.5 million copies in South Korea in 2016 alone, and it netted them the Artist of the Year award at the Mnet Asian Music Awards that same year, the first non-Big 3 artist ever to receive that award.
수상자는 방탄소년단.
I like this song.
After Blood, Sweat, and Tears, they were on a roll. BTS was unstoppable. In February of 2017, they released the instant hit Spring Day, which, quoting a Korean reviewer, embodied nostalgia and sorrow and opened a new chapter in BTS's aesthetics and lyricism and attracted fans across generational boundaries. Which, by the way, is still on Korean charts after nearly 4 years, and the same day I'm writing this, it ranked number 53 on Melon. It won Song of the Year at the 9th Melon Music Awards. After the release of Spring Day, they went on yet another tour, the 2017 BTS Live Trilogy, Episode 3, The Wings Tour. The tickets sold out within minutes, including in the United States, the first K-pop artist to do so, and went on to win
This
Best
3
Social
years
Artist
before they
at
had
the
200
Billboard Music
people.
Awards,
I
the
know.
first
Yeah.
for a Korean artist,
That's
but they would
crazy.
go on to win this award 4 years in a row. The next year was a period of massive growth for both the group's popularity as well as their style. They released the Love Yourself series, starting with Love Yourself Her in September of 2017, Love Yourself Tear in May of 2018, and Love
I really like
Yourself
the album
Answer
covers,
in
man.
August
I
of
know.
2018. 3 albums that gave us some of the most classic BTS songs
I wonder
that
if they
we
do
know and love
vinyl
today,
ones. They
such
really
as
look
Mic
nice in a
Drop,
big
I know,
vinyl.
yeah.
Fake Love, Euphoria, Idol,
We didn't hear this one.
and of course,
I think we'll be saving that for the albums.
Yeah, I don't want to react to any more songs.
all 3 albums were commercial successes. Her being their first album to top 2 million album sales, but Tear and Answer also did equally well. These 3 albums, as well as their Japanese album, Face Yourself, proved that they weren't done yet, not even close. During this time, they shattered countless records. Their singles went platinum, they topped charts, they won awards. And not only
Very
did they
unique
break
beat.
YouTube records, but they broke records that they themselves set again and again and again. This is the period where BTS really started enjoying global recognition, working with huge Western artists such as Nicki Minaj, Designer, and Steve Aoki. It
Or
wasn't their
Designer,
first time having
okay.
international features on their songs, but it was definitely the biggest. And even though they were
Designer.
already, without a
And they
doubt,
fell
the
off.
biggest act to ever come out of South Korea, they had their eyes set even higher. They went on tour once again for the Love Yourself World Tour. During this tour, they collaborated with Steve Aoki to make the song Wasted on Me. Notable for being their first all-English feature, and it also served as a jumping-off point for BTS to gain a following of English speakers. Not that they really needed the help, as they sold out concerts even in the US leg of the tour, including at Citi Field in Queens, New York, where tickets sold out in 20 minutes. And as if that wasn't enough, they dropped the movie in November, Burn the Stage, which in the US alone grossed $3.54 million in the first weekend, breaking the record set by One Direction's movie This Is Us. In September, RM had the unique
Who's One
opportunity
Direction?
to speak at the United
One
Nations,
Direction?
where he spoke
You don't
of
remember?
anti-violence
I'm
and
joking,
self-love. 2 years later, he would
They
be
kinda
offered to
gone
speak
off
on a
the
second
chart,
occasion
though.
about
No, they
resistance
don't.
and
They're
hope
broken
in the
up.
face of
Really?
challenges.
Yeah, yeah.
And to top it all off,
That's the
in
Six Flags
October, the
everything.
president
I
of
didn't even
South
hear that.
Korea awarded every member of BTS the 5th class Hwangwon Order of Cultural Merit for outstanding meritorious services in the field of culture and art, which is one of the highest South Korean orders of merit one can receive, and that's
Shit.
no exaggeration. 2019 estimates put BTS's contribution to the South Korean economy to the tune of $4.65 billion.
Are they exempt from military
To
service?
0.3%
I
of the
don't think
country's
so.
GDP. They were the youngest to ever receive the honor. 2019.
0.3% of
Grammys,
South Korea's
Time
GDP.
Magazine, Billboard, BTS entered a new era. Not an era of simply global recognition, but global dominance. April 12th, 2019. Enter Map of the Soul Persona. First things first, you can't mention Map of the Soul Persona without mentioning Boy With Love. It was simple math. What do you get when you cross the singer of one of the best charting songs of all time that went platinum 59 times in 13 different countries with, without a question, the most globally dominant pop group of all time? Well, you get this. nothing less than an instant hit. Number 8 on Billboard Hot 100.
I love
Platinum
really
in
the
US,
colours that they use for
21
this
music
song.
show wins.
So
Number
bright.
1 on iTunes in 67
Makes you
different
happy.
countries.
Gets rid of
The
the
most
depression.
liked and the most viewed YouTube video in the first 24 hours. The fastest video to reach 100 million views. A current view count of over 1 billion.
Man, I'm
views.
gonna say, man,
7
whoever did
boys,
this
1
editing
girl, and
is
7
next level
different
shit.
Hair colors. They were the talk of the town, invited to talk show after talk show after talk show. The second single on the album was Make It Right. Written by Ed Sheeran himself, including a version featuring Loud. The album debuted at number 1 on Gallup and sold 3.2 million
Oh,
copies.
shit.
in its first month.
I did
That's
not
why
know
Like
that.
Ed Sheeran.
It became the
Man,
best
like
selling
Ed
I love
Sheeran.
Ed
in
Sheeran,
South
man.
Korea ever.
Mr.
It
Ginger.
swept every major Korean music show, winning Album of the Year in each one of them. They followed up this legendary EP with the Love Yourself, Speak Yourself World Tour, where they sold out both the Rose Bowl and the Wembley Stadium in only an hour. The only non-English speaking act
That's
to do so.
crazy.
They even performed as a solo act in Saudi Arabia, the first foreign act to do that. The last stop of their tour was at South Korea's
Saudi?
largest venue, the Seoul
Hey.
Olympic Stadium.
Madness.
They ended up grossing
Crazy.
$200 million. During this time, they
How-
also
how-
created
how
a
did
visual
that
novel
That's what I'm
style game
saying.
for mobile
Some
devices
rich
called
Arab
BTS
chef
where
was
the
like,
player
"Play
can
for
interact
me."
with the movers.
Bro,
This
they look
also
at this,
came
a
with an
lot of
original
people there.
soundtrack
I know,
that
yeah,
actually
but, you know, they
included
probably
music
got-
featuring Western artists. Zara Larsson,
Their lyrics
Charli XCX,
tend to be very
and
clean,
Juice WRLD for the
so
tracks
it would cater
Brand New
towards
Day,
that
Green
area of the
Glow,
world.
and All Night, respectively. In December of 2019, the group swept the grand prizes for both the Melon and Mnet Music Award shows, the first artist to do that. Map of the Soul persona was legendary, truly a marvel in modern music.
So, how could BTS follow up the best-selling album in South Korean history, you may ask?
Easy. Make an even better selling album. And that's what they did with Map of the Soul 7. The album was released on February 21st of 2020, featuring the singles Black Swan and On. And sold over 4.1 million albums in just the first week. And the first
Oh
Korean
my
album to be
God.
certified as quadruple million on the Gaon Music Chart. It debuted at number 1 on music charts all over the world, including the US, Korea, the UK, Japan, and much of Europe. It's not an exaggeration to say that this album left a permanent mark on the world, launching BTS into legendary status and becoming the best-selling artist in South Korean history. BTS had scheduled a Map of the Soul tour for April of that year, which would have undoubtedly outsold their record-breaking tour only a year prior. But unfortunately, the COVID pandemic caused the entire
COVID.
tour to be postponed, including the show at the Rose Bowl, which I was supposed to attend. But that didn't stop BTS, who performed virtual concerts, spoke at the Dear Class of 2020 graduation event,
Respect.
and released the Japanese
Wow.
version of the recent
Even
album
though,
with
like,
an
a
original
lot of
Japanese
artists
single,
just kind of
Stay
went
Gold.
on, kind of went AWOL, you know?
And to top it all off, this was only June. At this point, it was clear that BTS had already dominated their home turf, and they had topped the music charts all over the world. This time, their sight was set for the very top. Remember that scene in The Social Network where Mark and Sean talk about how they don't want $1 million, they want $1 billion. How
Yeah.
they're not interested in catching 14 trout, but they'd rather catch an 800-pound marlin? Well, that's what they set their sights on. The marlin, the biggest music industry in the world, the United States. And at the top of that music industry, number 1 on Billboard Hot 100. This small group from a company that virtually no one had heard about 8 years ago planned to take on Goliath himself and dominate the American industry on their home turf. And all they had to do was speak English. August 21st, enter Dynamite. Their first English single,
Dynamite
simultaneously
was
performed
bombing,
better than
man.
anyone had expected, but at
Have
the
we
same
heard
time
that song?
is exactly
Yeah?
I
what
don't
we as
think
an
we did,
audience
bro.
had
We
come
didn't
to
do video
expect
of it,
from the legendary boy band.
Maybe you heard it in your own
themselves.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dynamite
Definitely
number
hear
one
on
We
the
never
radio.
reacted to that to song at all.
100, the Global
Or on
200,
stage we did
and the
perform.
Global
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a live
version.
performance.
Yeah,
If you
but not
haven't
official.
Oh, not the official
definitely
song,
have
though.
now. And if that wasn't already the biggest flex, on October 2nd they came out with Savage Love BTS Remix with Jason Derulo,
I heard this song on TikTok.
getting number
I've
1
heard
on the
this.
Billboard Hot
I
100
heard it from
again,
Hannah.
less than 2 months after already getting number 1 with Dynamite, and on the Global 200 where they actually replaced themselves at number 1, the first artist to do so ever.
Oh,
And this
shit.
is where we stopped
Mad.
in the original video,
Yeah,
October
please
of
stop.
2020. So, what's happened since then? Well, not much. On November 20th, their 5th studio album, B, was released, featuring the hit single Life Goes On. B was met with critical acclaim and hit number 1 on Billboard
digging
200 and the World Albums Chart, the 5th
I won't
BTS
listen to
album
it,
to
but-
do so, along with topping worldwide charts in countries
Nah,
like
I
Belgium,
can't.
Canada, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, Portugal, and of course their hometown, South Korea. And in spite of all these accolades, perhaps the biggest winner was Life Goes On. A synth-pop showstopper encouraging its audience to continue
Oh,
living
God.
life.
They hit me
even
in the
the
weak
midst
spot.
of a
I
global
like synth pop.
pandemic. The message was clear. Don't give up, life goes on. It hit
Wow.
number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, the 3rd BTS song to do so. BTS gave the fans what they wanted with Life Goes On. Life Goes On joined the exclusive club of only 8 songs to ever top the Billboard Hot 100 that were not in English, a title most recently held by Despacito. But it was the first to do it in BTS's native
I
tongue,
love Despacito.
Korea.
Don't, man. I've heard that song a million times thanks to Instagram.
Oh shit.
The same month, the Academy announced that BTS's Dynamite would be nominated for the Best Pop Duo Group Performance, along with songs by J Balvin.
It's crazy how they were meant to be a rock group in the beginning.
This marked
That's
the
how
first
things,
time a
like,
Korean pop artist
When
It's
things
not-
are supposed to
for a
be,
Grammy.
it just
In
happens
December,
naturally.
BTS was invited to sing for Disney's holiday sing-along.
It's like J-Hope wanted to leave and RM brought him
And
back.
on New Year's Eve, Big Hit put on a New Year's concert where they performed again. Things looked really good for BTS and their Grammy nomination, especially since on March 4th, 2021, the official news came. The International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, or IFPI, announced BTS as the Global Recording Artist of the Year, an award given to the best-selling artist of 2020, period, beating out 9 other prominent Western artists, making them the first artist from Korea, but perhaps more importantly, the first non-English artist
That was
to
Taylor
do so.
Swift.
Later that
Second.
month, the Grammys,
fuck?
the main event.
I actually don't know who
everyone
listens
waited
to it
for
anymore.
finally
Ah.
with
Teenage
bated
Girls?
breath, BTS and the world,
How many teenage girls are there?
and well,
A
In
lot.
America.
Those two.
Quite a bit.
Rain on Me, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande.
they didn't win. However, they made history for being the first South Korean artist to perform at the Grammys, after presenting at the Grammys the year prior. March 31st, 2021, Big Hit Entertainment officially rebrands as HYBE and completely revamps their organization. BTS now falls under Big Hit Music, which is now a subsidiary of HYBE Labels, a division of the HYBE Corporation. 2 days
Okay.
later, HYBE acquires Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings. Scooter Braun Projects is a subsidiary of Ithaca Holdings that manages several artists, including Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, J Balvin, Carly Rae Jepsen, Black Eyed Peas, Demi Lovato, and others, which means that those artists are now part of the same family as BTS. Then, at long last, BTS announced their
They become
highly
big
anticipated
shacks.
follow-up single to their smash English hit Dynamite. And that single was Butter. May 21st,
Ah,
2021.
my favorite.
It didn't disappoint. The retro summer pop hit met immediate success, and on May 26th, the BTS meal launched.
Yeah, the BTS meal at McDonald's.
Yeah, that happened.
I'm loving
June
it.
16th, BTS releases their 3rd Japanese compilation album, known as BTS The Best. It instantly hit number 1 on Japan's Oricon chart and sold over 1 million albums, the first and only Korean boy group so far to accomplish this feat. The new Japanese single, Film Out, was released 2 months earlier and debuted at number 1 on the Oricon chart. And as an interesting fact, charted at 185 on the Billboard 200 excluding US chart, joining Dynamite and Life Goes On, making BTS the only artist to ever have 3 songs in 3 different languages on the Billboard 200. On
At the
July
same
1st,
time.
following an organizational restructuring, the HYBE Corporation announced that Hitman Bang, our same Hitman Bang who got the boys together, resigned as CEO of the company in order to focus on his passion for music production. And while he is still the chairman of the board of directors, he was replaced as CEO by Park Ji-won. On July 7th, BTS became official models for Louis Vuitton as they walked the runway for part of their men's fall-winter 2021
Louis.
collection. They were named as ambassadors only 2 months prior, and then for their teaser trailer, they forgot to put V in the video. And finally, that brings us to July 9th, Permission to Dance, which was released only a few days ago. The hit song, which was written by Ed Sheeran, spreads positive vibes as the world starts to recover from the global pandemic. Its YouTube debut saw 72.3 million views in the first 24 hours, placing itself at number 6 of the top 10 most viewed music videos in the first 24 hours. Out of BTS's past 5 singles, 3 of them have been fully in English. And while this trend has been concerning for some fans who have been wanting more traditional Korean pop songs, there's no denying that BTS has enjoyed global recognition like no other international and particularly non-English group before them, and that itself is a sign of success that can't be ignored. And as a fun fact, there's a line in the song referencing legendary singer-songwriter Elton John.
When it all seems like it's wrong, sing along to Elton John and to that feeling.
He gave the song his personal approval. So what makes BTS so special? How did they achieve all this? K-pop is a genre that spans for at least 30 years, and there have been hundreds of boy groups and hundreds of girl groups. What did BTS do to rise above all of them and break through to markets never before seen?
Historically, the boy band industry has been dominated by white English-speaking bands.
Yes.
And the fact that BTS has not only held their own, but blew any sign of competition out of the water on a global scale can be attributed to nothing less than their talent, hard work, and a bit of a 1 in a million miracle.
When I tend to look at boy bands, I always think of them as, you know, cringe and shit.
Around the world, we
But
see
yeah,
boy bands have pretty much fallen into obscurity, but BTS
they kind of died
is
off
thriving.
in the West
And
there.
though I've stated this all before, it's worth saying again, in contrast to other bands who would sing about romantic relationships with girls and what some would call predictable bubblegum pop tunes, BTS is continuously pushing the envelope and changing their styles. According to an article by Vulture.com, they described this style as much less a successor of the Backstreet Boys and more of the successors of Michael Jackson, whose choreography and charisma were unprecedented. While of course there's a lot of love for the angelic vocals of BTS, rap has also played a very important part in creating their own style. In stark contrast to the typical boy band where every member sings, it's so refreshing when you're in the middle of a song and you hear RM's raw rapping skills.
Yes.
Soul
This is
put
what
into
I'm on
every
about,
single
man.
line. Interestingly enough, at the first glance, it seems that the success of BTS was miraculous, despite not being part of the big three. But it can also be
Too much of
argued that their
anything is
success
bad,
was
so a
because
mix
their
of
separation
different
from the big
styles.
three. Their label, Big
I don't know how they do it.
whose
They did
founder
it in such a good
emphasized
way.
Artistic freedom more than anything else allowed them to make their own sound. And going back to BTS universe, it's not often that a K-pop group does something special with each of their songs and albums, utilizing strong storytelling that can go beyond simply the song itself, but rather interconnected with other songs and even other albums to create one large overarching story. And not only do they all have their own expertise in performance, but also each of them have had the experience of writing and producing their own music, and they're not afraid to let their style evolve over time. BTS during their debut is such a far cry from Wings era BTS and current day BTS. They also chose to tackle more adult issues instead of simply love and girls. While they definitely didn't have a shortage of those, they also cover other very important issues such as mental health, regret, following your dreams, hard work, self-love, and many, many, many others. Add that to the fact that as fans, we can feel the authenticity of the members themselves. They seem approachable. BTS seems like there's a place for every type of fan. And in this fast-paced world where things change at unthinkable speeds, BTS has stayed grounded and faithful to who they were and who they are. Those kids we saw on American Hustle Life, along with their dreams and passions, are the same men who stand before us
We need to
today.
watch that.
I wanna
While
watch
some
this.
artists like
I
to
really
keep
wanna
their
watch
lives
this.
private, BTS gives us a look at their personal lives.
What's
and
the
their
first,
flaws, which allows
documentary?
us to become more connected to them than ever before.
What do you mean?
What is
Latino,
truly
something like that.
amazing
Ah, yeah,
is that
yeah,
they're
yeah.
doing
Their
this
first-
all
yeah.
while singing in their native tongue, Korean. Their music holds so much power that it literally breaks through the barriers of language. And no, they're not done yet. They've shown that they're capable of dominating music charts across the world and even reaching across the Pacific Ocean and conquering the music industry in the United States. What's next for them? Mars? In any case, they've only
Mars.
started in 2013. and
This guy,
BTS is
I have to
as
give
strong as it's
huge
ever
respect to
been.
whoever edited it.
And that's
I don't know
your
if it's him
2021
or
update.
his
There's been
editor.
lots of exciting
But
news for the
goddamn.
group so far.
Man, look at them how they edit this.
Of course, you have to they have to get all the information correct.
Man, that's crazy.
You know?
This has to be the best documentary series
Yeah.
about BTS.
From
like,
A to Z.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like they gave information, but they didn't overwhelm you. They gave enough to understand it. You know.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things I found out, like what Sugar's name means.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a bit of more insight to who they are and how they became a thing, and then where they are. And you know,
definitely.
even though we kind of had an idea because
Yeah.
of what we watched before, but we didn't have this enough information. And
I think that we still have a lot to learn.
Oh,
in regards to
110%.
the
Like,
guys,
it's a band that's been around for the past, 7-8
But,
years?
yeah, I'm looking
So-
forward to their, like, 2019 album. I'm looking forward towards around
When they
that.
start changing
Yeah,
their... Yeah,
because the next one we're doing this week, so
yeah.
look forward to that.
100%. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's like a journey for us, and I'm really, really enjoying
Because
it.
you're slowly seeing them change
Yeah.
each album slightly, a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. Like, they're growing. It's like us. You're not like the way you were in 2012. So, like, they're changing and they're artists.
Yeah.
And it's always great that artists change or person changes. And the more you change, the more you learn and the more you grow. And the more you kind of find yourself. And, like, that's what they've been doing. And it's been working for them. And I love it. Like, but if you're stuck in a time, you're never moving. You're not going to make any
That's
change.
why a lot of artists,
You know?
like, this is why I have huge respect for Drake and all. They move with the times.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they change and evolve. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of, like, rappers tend to just stay with their own style and kind of die off.
Yeah.
It's a niche market, but yeah, BTS, they keep their rap.
BTS was kind of different. They were literally started as kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like how
No.
they like how they make music from 16, 17 is not gonna be
No,
how they
no,
make
no,
music
no,
at
no,
Yeah.
25.
not at all, not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
But we, like, people saw their progress throughout, you know,
Yeah.
their as they grow older.
Yeah.
Like, their team has changed, like, about love, like the guy said.
Yeah.
Like, the current album we're still on.
Plus they obviously have to market themselves differently.
Yeah.
It's not like obviously they had like talks with the label or something.
Oh,
Yeah, of course,
100%,
yeah.
It just didn't happen like
No,
overnight.
no.
Oh,
But
yeah.
either way, their whole band was, like, future proof.
Yeah, but
'Cause
the
they-
thing... Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, do you know, as a boy band, you're
Yeah.
just labelled as, like, for girls. But they didn't want to be that. They didn't want to go into that niche. So they wanted bigger.
Like,
To target, like, both genders, everyone.
the box that I always put boy bands in is, like,
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys, Boyzone, all these bands that came before
Westlife,
Westlife.
One Direction.
Like, that's my thing. But these guys are different. It's like just a band. Like, it's a, you know, like a rock band. Like, that's how they are. They change up their style. It's like, but they have, like, multiple singers. Like, everyone's singing. Like, not like a rock band where maybe you have two vocalists and then the rest are guitar, piano, whatever, drums.
Yeah.
It's like all of them sing.
Yeah. They have the potential.
It's like their own little corner, and it's kind of hard. I don't think any other Korean group can go near them at all. Especially
There's no one near them.
no one near them at all.
It's like then there's no one near them.
They're
in the
like-
world, so
they're
in
like
the
a-
whole Korea.
Yeah.
They're like a shark.
When it comes to bands,
Yeah.
talk about the Korea,
monsters.
the whole world, like they're the top.
Yeah, they are number one.
Like, cause rock is in the mainstream anyway. Is dead.
Yeah.
Is dead. So
Yeah.
Not really. Oh,
Rock
mainstream,
is- yeah,
mainstream.
it's
Yeah,
dead.
yeah. I
no one
agree
listens
with
to
you.
rock in the mainstream. Rock is like more of an underground stuff. But one thing that I see from this video, like they didn't win the Grammy, yeah.
No.
They almost won
they
it.
didn't.
So that's the one achievement that they're definitely gonna get eventually.
I feel like they're getting hungry. That's why I think they're trying to win that. They're trying to do more English songs.
So people
Like,
can
yeah,
understand.
they're still bringing out their
Korean.
Korean, mixing it in with English. Like, I respect that. Like,
Mm-hmm,
like Dynamite was fire. I love that song.
Yeah.
Dynamite. So much. I heard. Have we heard that in the live? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think we
live.
did
It was live,
We
I'm
didn't
pretty
do
sure.
the official
No.
video. We'll leave it for the album, the official one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, definitely it was like.
I knew Ed Sheeran did Dynamite, but I didn't know he did a previous song though.
He done permission to you.
Yeah,
Think
permission.
you
Permission
thought
to
he
dance.
done. You knew that he done permission to dance, but you didn't know Dynamite.
Dynamite, yeah,
That's
I
what
know,
it is.
yeah. I knew permission.
But yeah, that's
yeah.
a normal thing that people don't know in the music industry. Like
Yeah.
a lot of like Beyonce does it for people. Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
That's I knew Ed Sheeran's talent, but God,
Yeah, no. The interesting thing was that what's it called? Justin Bieber and all are in the same label. as
same,
them now.
yeah. No, I didn't know they
Yeah.
rebranded.
Yeah, I
Big
didn't know
hit
that.
to hide.
Yeah, no, that was really interesting.
I
It
was
wasn't. What was that JK song? Euphoria.
yeah.
That was meant to be for Justin Bieber.
Really?
Ah.
Okay.
Someone mentioned that in the comments.
Okay,
I did not
that is
know
interesting.
that.
I can see how it was meant for Justin Bieber. Yeah.
Huge respect, man. They grew and they acquired another label. That's crazy.
Yeah, they took over. Like, It's like that snake game.
They're like a megalodon.
Yeah, which is really good.
They
Like
grew,
I'm
the company
really happy.
the company grew with BTS. That's
The
huge.
chairman retired
Yeah.
to focus on
Music production.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Which is really good, to be honest.
let's be honest, he's the reason why BTS are here today.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
the vision, like,
Yeah.
you know, obviously they put the
He
work
obviously
in.
didn't think it would be like this, but
That's life.
he started it though.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
never
yeah.
know how it's gonna go on, you know, and then you
Yeah.
just go with the flow.
Yeah, he put the work
Yeah.
in. Like, you know, it's like when you're a child, your parents guide you,
Yeah.
but you do the work. But they literally show you the
I don't
path.
like RM. If RM didn't bring back J Hope, man, it'd be a lot different. With 6 members, it'd be kind of weird.
They would have probably got someone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they
I don't
would.
think it would have been the same. Like J Hope has so much energy.
Yeah. No, he's just funny.
For the group, then I think the group in itself is special because they
Yeah.
work like tirelessly. They live together,
yeah.
and sometimes you need to have the right mix of people to to hit it off.
Yeah.
They
People are
have the
saying-
right chemistry.
Yeah, people are saying that they literally have less holidays and stuff like that. Like, they don't even get to see their families
I'm not
and do
surprised.
things. They're literally working like all the time,
Yeah.
which is mad. Like, you know, we complain about like
Yeah.
getting 20 days a year, and like next thing, these guys like literally don't have the time.
With that industry, like if you take time off,
Yeah.
you're lagging behind the rest because everyone else is working hard. It's
It's
crazy.
mad. It's a very competitive.
I bet the
thing.
parents of like RM or Sugar were like, they never expected them to end up like this.
100%.
Because they're doing rapping, you get me? So
Yeah.
they wouldn't think someone from Korea would be this big
Worldwide.
Yeah.
stand from being a rapper. You get me?
Yeah.
If they were just all vocalists, I don't think they would have had the same success. But they have the right mixture of talent, dance, singing, and rap. Like, was it Jin that literally they picked off the street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything.
It's mad, isn't
That's
it?
crazy. Like, just imagine that. I would never. That would never happen in the West here. Like
It just happens to models.
models, yeah, but
Yeah.
not singers.
But he looked model. Like,
Yeah.
and he looked really
Oh,
nice.
so Big Hit like does multiple things. Okay.
Yeah. So,
So
you know,
he thought he was becoming
it
a
happened
model.
to him twice.
Yeah.
So it's
You know,
not
that
the
kind
first
of, you know, that guy who started them, he kind of reminds me of, do you remember in One Direction how they started?
Yeah.
Oh.
They got some random
yeah.
people. They were like, all
But like they went to auditioning, like they went to the X Factor.
yeah, but they weren't, I'm going to be honest, I remember when I used to watch, I'm not going to lie, I used to watch X Factor back
I'll
then.
say.
But
What?
they weren't
What
that,
do you watch?
I used to watch
X
X Factor
X
back
everyone
then.
everyone watches
But,
that. That's
No,
she
it's
should.
just people don't watch it anymore.
Yeah,
Or-
I'm saying back then.
Back
Yeah,
in the
but
day.
I remember a few of them weren't good at all.
Oh yeah.
Like there's average vocalists.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like Zayn
Practice.
and Liam were like my favorite.
You even
The
know their
Irish lad
names.
as well. I can't remember his name.
I remember Zayn, that's it.
Yeah. And then there was this guy, skinny guy. I can't remember his name, but I didn't. His voice wasn't like that great. So,
No,
but
yeah,
still,
yeah.
but still, they made it. Like, you know,
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna hate.
I liked them. I'm not saying I didn't like them. But I really liked One Direction, and that was that. Like, I also liked the Wanted, but they disappeared as well.
Shit happens, man. When
I
you
know.
don't evolve.
I don't think else had to do. They already done what they had to do.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's like they didn't change.
There's a ceiling to some art. Like
Yeah.
there's no like BTS is like different. You get me?
It is
Yeah.
different because like I used to watch a lot of boy band stuff like JLS and all of them, and the next thing when I came across BTS, I thought it was the same thing.
They were one dimensional.
Yeah, and then I was literally shocked, like what I've seen. I was like, "Holy shit! Like, what is this? Like, it's crazy how you literally have assumptions."
If
of
you
something.
if you told me 5 months ago that I'd be watching a documentary of BTS, I'd be like, I would bet with you, you know.
100%, you love betting.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You have to give
You owe me that
50
50 euro, bro.
Of course I do.
But yeah,
If you don't know what that is about, it's in Vincent. Oh no, Etoile.
Yeah.
We betted. So watch that video whenever it comes out on YouTube.
But yeah, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah,
I think we'll leave it there. The video
Yeah.
is already long, and we had enough discussion here.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, let us know your thoughts down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, click on that notification button. If you want to see more BTS content, head over to our Patreon. We do weekly albums, so it's like our BTS journey kind of a thing. And also we're starting the Run BTS, so make sure to go over there and watch. We also upload weekly or like contents about BTS and so on and so forth. So stay tuned for more videos. We are the Modern Nomads and we are out.
Peace.